In your life, you have probably seen thousands of birds. You have seen them on rooftops, power lines, sidewalks, parks, and in your own backyard. They are part of the background of ordinary life. Sparrows in hedges, robins on lawns, pigeons on pavement, crows watching from streetlights. Birds are everywhere. And yet, for all the birds we see while they are alive, we almost never see them when they are dead. You can walk through a park full of birds and never see a body. You can live in a neighborhood filled with them and still go months, maybe years, without seeing a dead bird on the ground. At first, it feels like a small question, almost too ordinary to matter. But once you notice it, it becomes hard to ignore. Birds die every day. They die from disease, hunger, old age, storms, freezing nights, extreme heat, injury, predators, windows, cars, cats, and accidents no human ever witnesses. So if birds are everywhere when they are alive, why do they seem to vanish when they die? If death is happening all around us, why is the evidence so rare? You do not see it. But that does not mean it is not happening. The answer is not one simple trick. It is a chain of events. It begins before death. It continues through the night. It involves instinct, hiding places, insects, scavengers, predators, soil, and even the strange awareness of other birds. When you follow that chain, the mystery becomes less like a disappearance and more like a system. A quiet system that works faster than we can notice. Wild birds have high death rates, especially small birds. Many do not survive their first year. Across a continent like North America, billions of birds may die every year. The mystery is not whether birds die. The mystery is how so many can die and still leave so little visible evidence behind. If every dead bird remained in the open for days, lawns, parks, sidewalks, trails, roadsides, fields, and gardens would show the evidence again and again. But that is not what usually happens. So something must be removing them from our view or hiding them before we ever get the chance to look. And that is where the story begins. Not with a dead bird, but with a weak one. When a bird becomes sick, injured, exhausted, or old, its behavior changes. It may fly less. It may perch lower. It may react more slowly. It may become quiet, disoriented, or unusually still. A healthy bird can take risks. It can cross open space. It can perch where it can see danger coming. It can launch itself into the air in a fraction of a second. But a weak bird cannot rely on speed anymore. It cannot escape as easily. It cannot react as quickly. It cannot afford to be exposed. So it often does what vulnerable animals do. It hides. It moves into shrubs, tall grass, hedges, low branches, fence lines, thick vegetation, and quiet corners where the world is darker and more covered. This does not mean the bird understands death the way humans do. It is not choosing a final resting place. It is not making a conscious plan for the end. It is following one of the last survival responses available to a body that can no longer defend itself well. When you are weak, being seen is dangerous, so a weakened bird may withdraw from the open world before it dies. And after it dies, the same place that gave it cover also hides the body from human eyes. People do not usually search it inside hedges. They do not kneel down and look deep into tall grass. They do not inspect the shaded spaces beneath shrubs or the tangled roots at the base of a fence. We walk past those places every day. So many dead birds do not vanish after death. They are already hidden when death happens. To us, the disappearance begins when the bird slips out of sight. To the bird, it may simply be one last act of survival. But not all birds die hidden. Some die in the open. A bird may strike a window and fall beneath a house. It may die on a lawn, near a driveway, under a tree, or beside a sidewalk. So why do we still rarely find them? Because once a small bird's body is out in the open, a race begins, and humans usually lose. To us, a dead bird may look sad or disturbing, but to many other organisms, it is food. A small bird's body is energy, protein, fat, minerals, moisture, and nutrients. In nature, that kind of energy does not remain untouched for long. Insects can arrive quickly. Ants may find it. Flies may mark it. Beetles may investigate it. Larvae may begin the work of breaking down soft tissue. Before you ever notice anything, a smaller world may already be moving over it. And insects are only the beginning. Larger scavengers may come too. Crows, jays, raccoons, opossums, foxes, skunks, squirrels, and domestic cats can all take advantage of a dead bird. Many animals do not only hunt living prey, they also scavenge when the opportunity appears. A dead bird is an easy meal. No chase, no struggle, no risk. Just a small source of food lying in the open. And much of this happens when we are asleep. We see the yard in the morning. We see the park during the day. We see the sidewalk when we are walking through it. But a great deal of ecological activity happens at night. A bird may die under a window at midnight. A cat may find it at 3 in the morning. A raccoon may carry it away before dawn. A crow may take what remains before the first person opens the curtains. By the time the morning looks peaceful again, the event is already over. The grass is clean. The air is bright. The birds are singing. Nothing looks unusual. But that does not mean nothing happened. It only means that by the time you arrived, the cleanup was finished. Morning does not show you the whole story. It shows you what remains after the night has done its work. But there is another reason, and it is even harder to notice. Some bird deaths never leave a body on the ground at all. Not because the body disappears afterward, because the bird is eaten before it ever becomes a corpse, lying still in the open. Predation is one of the main ways birds die. A hawk can strike with shocking speed. One moment, small birds are feeding in a yard. The next moment, everything explodes into wings, alarm calls, and silence. A Cooper's hawk may flash between trees, hit a bird near a feeder, and carry it away. The whole event may last only a few seconds. The body does not remain where the attack happened. The predator takes it somewhere else, to a branch, a hidden perch, a nest, or a safer place where it can eat without being disturbed. What remains may be almost nothing. A few feathers, a small scatter in the grass, a sign so faint that most people would not know what they were seeing. At night, owls can take birds from their roosts. A sleeping bird may be caught in darkness, carried away, swallowed, or eaten piece by piece. Later, the owl may cough up a pellet containing the parts it could not digest, bones, feathers, and other fragments. But that pellet may be far from the place where the bird died. To most people, it may look like dirt, a clump of natural debris, or something not worth noticing. Mammalian predators can also remove the evidence. Cats, foxes, weasels, raccoons, and other animals may catch or scavenge birds and carry them away before eating them. So the place where the bird died may not contain the body. The death and the evidence are separated. A bird may be caught in one place, eaten in another, and leave traces somewhere else entirely. In nature, not every death leaves a corpse. Sometimes it leaves only a clue so small you can walk over it without knowing what it means. And that changes the question. Maybe the mystery is not only, where are all the dead birds? Maybe the better question is, what does nature leave instead? Because the signs are often there. They are just not always shaped like a body. A cluster of feathers can be a sign of predation. Scattered feathers may simply be molting, but many feathers concentrated in one spot can suggest an attack. An owl pellet beneath a tree can be evidence of a meal that happened somewhere else. It may contain bones, feathers, fur, and compressed fragments of prey. A sudden gathering of ants, flies, or beetles may point to something hidden under leaves or inside grass. Even the behavior of other birds can be a clue. Crows may call loudly. Jays may give alarm calls. Smaller birds may gather or mob a predator. Not always, not with certainty. Nature is easy to misread if we force every sign to mean one thing. But dead birds may leave traces other than bodies. A feather, a pellet, a swarm of insects, a change in sound, a place where animals gather. The body may be gone, but the event has not left the world untouched. The evidence is often written in a language most people do not know how to read. Another reason this feels mysterious is that many people imagine these processes happening somewhere far away, in forests, in wetlands, in mountains, in remote places where nature seems more complete, but predation, scavenging, and decomposition happen right beside us. In backyards, parks, sidewalks, parking lots, under hedges, along fences, and beneath streetlights. Urban and suburban places are not separate from nature. They are ecosystems with trimmed grass, pavement, glass, and artificial light. Birds die there. Predators hunt there. Scavengers patrol there. Insects work there. Bacteria and fungi break down what remains there. Human environments also create dangers for birds. Windows, cars, cats, wires, buildings, and artificial lights. But this story is not only about human harm. It is also about how quickly the ecosystem responds, even in places we think of as ours. A bird that dies beside a house does not leave nature. It enters another part of nature. The scavengers may be urban. The hiding places may be hedges instead of forest undergrowth. The predators may live around neighborhoods instead of deep woods. But the process is the same. Death is found. Death is used. Death is broken down. Death is transformed. A yard is not separate from the wild. It is just a piece of the wild that has been cut, fenced, lit, and named. And when we say a dead bird disappears, we are really speaking from the point of view of human eyes. Ecologically, it does not disappear. It changes form. Part of it may enter the body of a scavenger, a crow, a fox, a raccoon, and a possum, a cat. Part of it may enter the bodies of insects, ants, flies, beetles, larvae. Part of it may pass into the soil through bacteria, fungi, moisture, and the slow chemistry of decomposition. What was muscle becomes nourishment. What was bone becomes mineral. What was a small living body becomes energy moving outward through the system. This is not magic. It is not a supernatural disappearance. It is not nature hiding something from us. It is transformation. Nature does not waste death. A dead bird can feed many organisms. Its body can become part of the soil. Its matter can move into plants, insects, predators, and eventually back into the living world in forms that no longer resemble the bird at all. The body is gone, yes, but its matter remains in motion. The bird has not vanished from the world. It has been redistributed, and there is one more part of this mystery that feels almost unsettling. Sometimes a dead bird may disappear quickly from our sight, but not from the awareness of other birds. This is especially true among corvids, the bird family that includes crows, ravens, jays, and magpies. These birds are known for intelligence, memory, problem-solving, and complex social behavior. And some of their reactions to dead members of their own kind are remarkable. When crows encounter a dead crow, they may gather around it. They may call loudly. They may perch nearby. They may circle the area. Sometimes, after encountering a dead crow, they become more cautious around that place later. To human eyes, this can look almost like a funeral, but we have to be careful. It does not prove that crows understand death the way humans do. It does not prove they grieve in the same way we grieve. It does not mean they are holding a ritual in a human sense, but it does show something important. A dead crow is not meaningless to other crows. It is information. It may signal danger. A predator may be nearby. A human threat may be associated with that place. Something about that location may no longer be safe. The body becomes a warning, a lesson, a mark on the map. Other corvids, like magpies and jays, may also show unusual responses around dead companions. Smaller songbirds are harder to interpret. Sometimes they may linger near a dead mate or companion, but that could be pair bonding, confusion, territorial behavior, or caution. The safest answer is also the most interesting one. Some birds notice death, some respond socially, and intelligent birds like crows may learn from it. So a dead bird is not only food, it can also be a message. To scavengers, it says, eat. To insects, it says, begin. To the soil, it says, receive. To other birds, it may say, danger was here. And maybe that is why this small mystery feels larger than it first appears. It is not only about birds, it is about the limits of what humans notice. We tend to think that if something happens often, we should see it often. But nature does not operate on our schedule. We look during the day. Many removals happen at night. We look at open spaces. Weak birds hide in covered ones. We notice bodies. Nature leaves feathers, pellets, smells, insect movement, alarm calls, and disturbed grass. We expect evidence to stay still long enough for us to find it. But a predator can strike in seconds. A cat can carry a body away in minutes. Insects can begin their work almost immediately. A hidden body can return to the soil without ever entering human awareness. We do not see the whole natural world. We see the parts that are bright enough, slow enough, close enough, and obvious enough to reach us. Everything else continues beyond the edge of attention, inside bushes, under leaves, behind fences. In the rain, after midnight, before dawn, in the low green border where the lawn ends and the wild begins. The world is not empty of these events. It is full of them. We are just not there for most of them. So why do you almost never see dead birds? Because many birds die where people rarely look. Because small bodies are removed quickly. Because many birds are eaten before they ever become a body on the ground. Because decomposition transforms what remains into soil, insects, scavengers, and energy. Because death in nature is not always a visible ending. Sometimes it is a transfer. A bird dies in a hedge. A beetle finds it. A fox carries part of it away. Bacteria break down the rest. Nutrients enter the soil. A plant grows. An insect feeds on the plant. Another bird eats the insect. The shape is gone, but the matter continues. The evidence disappears, but the process does not. The next time you step into a quiet yard in the morning, remember that you are not seeing the whole story. You are seeing the version that remains after the hidden work is done. The grass may be clean. The trees may be bright. Birds may be singing as if nothing has happened. But somewhere in the hedge, in the soil, in the body of a scavenger, or in a few feathers moving across the ground, the missing evidence may already have changed form. You do not see it, but that does not mean it is not happening. What disappears is not death. What disappears is the proof our eyes need in order to believe it occurred.